怒りを叫べ悲しみを叫べ魂を叫べ今ここで叫べ
What's up, everybody? Welcome once again to the Yokai Delinquents podcast. I am Sean, Bearded Capitalitin.
And I am Jerry Robo Tengu Smith, and we have a very special guest with us today. I'm going to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Anna. I go by Sorrel.
Yeah, how's it going? How's life?
It's going pretty well. Just got home from work, so things are kind of running at full speed right now for me. So,
which is of course the best time to record a podcast. That used to be whatever time we'd record would be right after I just got home from work. So
yeah,
there we go. There we go.
So well, we appreciate you.
Got like that full functioning brain going on, right?
Yes.
As close as possible, at least.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But as always, we thank you for joining us, and we brought you on the show to chat it up with us. And as per tradition, guest gets to kick it off. So Anna, what do you want to talk to us about?
Sure. So let's talk Pokemon.
Oh,
I have been playing Pokemon Alpha Sapphire along with my boyfriend, who's been playing Omega Ruby.
Okay.
We've been on such a huge Pokemon kick lately, and so I've kind of just dove straight into that game. Was playing Pokemon White 2 before that, while we were waiting on Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby to come in, but I've since kind of put that one on hold and have jumped straight into Alpha Sapphire now. So one little fun fact about me when I play Pokemon games, I am the epitome of gotta catch them all. I literally have to catch all the Pokemon. My boyfriend does not play that way. He likes to fast track it straight to the the Elite Four, and but I'm not that way. I do like to catch them all, but there is a catch. Pardon the there. I don't do the national decks when I play Pokemon games. I mainly just catch them all for the regional decks, and then if I do happen to find or go through and catch a few more, then so be it. But that's pretty much the way that I approach every Pokemon game.
So just basically,
that's probably for the best.
Right. So basically, for those who may not know all the terminology listening on the thing, by national regional decks, this is basically whatever the new ones of the new area would be.
Yeah. So for Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby, it's the Hoenn area,
right?
The Hoenn continent, which kind of sits on its own away from all the other continents in Pokemon, which is one big world. If you did not know that, all of these continents all exist together. But Hoenn kind of sits away on its own. It's kind of like this huge island nation. It's not sure how it's connected to the others. Maybe some sort of bridge. I don't know. But anyway, it's on its own.
Well,
but yeah, Hoenn is the regional decks.
Yeah, you jump on a Lapras, you go over the hell you need to.
Sure, there you go. Absolutely.
So I'm thinking, honestly, for the rest of the episode, you give me your least favorite to favorite of all 898 Pokemon.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be a very long episode. So,
and we judge it accordingly.
Well, my absolute favorite Pokemon, I can tell you that, my favorite one. My absolute favorite Pokemon is Roserade. I've been such a huge fan of Roserade for the longest time, ever since she was, and I do say she, I know it's a multi-gender 50-50 split Pokemon but Roserade is absolutely female to me, and only female. The males do not exist in my mind.
Gotcha.
Sorry,
that's probably that's fair, and that's probably for the best.
Roserade just looks very female, but anyway, definitely my favorite Pokemon. And my least favorite? Oh goodness, that's a tough one. I'm not sure.
Well, we know.
I don't know.
Jerry's favorite Pokemon is Agumon.
Agumon? Okay.
He's a Digimon kid. He wasn't ever a Pokemon kid.
Don't bring Digimon into this.
I'm beating you to it.
Something about that before, Jerry. I think you did.
Yeah. I when we were growing up, we had Fox instead of WB, so I grew up on Digimon instead of Pokemon.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I did have the nice little VHSs that had like 3 episodes on them. So I think I had 2 of those. So I just had the same 6 episodes that I just watched over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'm
goodness.
personally an OG Pokemon player. Not that I ever stuck with it back then, but I had Pokemon Blue. And you always love your first starter, so Squirtle has always been my boy. Though
I love Squirtle. Yes.
though as of recent, of course, some of the newer ones have been really good. Of course, when you have a Pokemon named Litten and that's your last name, you got to root for a cat that turns into a pro wrestler, which is just I'm all about it. So.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. And I mean, I had the first gen game. Like I wasn't, I was in elementary school when it started, so that's gonna date some people here. But
Actually,
like
I'm older than you. Okay.
full disclosure though, like I hadn't played a lot of like, I guess it's kind of funny, like 2D games back then that much. I had a 64. It was really my big first console, and I had to have a friend show me how to get out of the house in the first game.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't know that you had to go to the area where the carpet was and push out. So it took me a while to start that game.
Wow. Okay. Very interesting.
So you mentioned you've been playing White up until now, and now the Omega and Alpha. Are you just like going back to play the old ones, or you just prefer the older ones, like not playing Sword and Shield or anything newer?
No, so I've already completed Sword. My boyfriend and I completed those both when they had come out, probably within a month.
Okay.
Of course, faster for him. I'm giving him the side eye.
Right.
But, no, yeah, I've already completed Sword and Shield, and I think what really spurred a lot of this on was the announcement of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Just recently. Because I'm a huge fan of I think that's Gen 4. And so I cannot wait to see the remakes of those. And it's interesting because those two remakes they're definitely remakes where they're using, like, the battle system is kind of a scaled down version of the battle system, graphically at least speaking, based on Sword and Shield on the Switch. So it looks more like kind of like an amped up version of the recent 3DS games. So yeah, like Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby. It just it looks like an HD version of those.
Yeah.
But the in game, like the in the town graphics and stuff are kind of like this chibi-fied version of the original game's graphics, just kind of enhanced and everything. And so there's graphical upgrades all around, but it's kind of an interesting dynamic to know that they're doing this one graphical style for the like the in-game portions, or like the main towns, and then the battle system has its own graphical style. I think that's the first time a Pokemon game's really done that.
Yeah, I think so. Graphically, sorry, got in.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
Graphically, it really reminds me of the Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu, like art style. And this is what I'm really excited about, because the furthest back I can go is about the DS era, like Black and White and those, because I can't go back and play the old model with the old systems and mechanics. So these remakes let me go back and play the old school Pokemon again. Because I got spoiled on the entire team getting experience points, and all the little quality of life updates that they've gotten. So yeah, I'm actually pretty excited for this one myself. Because I played Sword, I played Sun and Moon. I actually really enjoyed when that came out.
I did too. Yeah. Those games get a lot of flack, and
really,
I don't understand why. Yeah, at least from the community that I've grown up with playing video games.
Communities are terrible.
Yeah. I've been a part of this crew of gamers since like 1999, and they have, I guess they're like diehard Pokemon fans, but they just look at Sun and Moon as kind of being the downtrodden little redheaded stepchildren of the Pokemon franchise, and I'm like, why? Pokemon Sun and Moon are so fun. I love them.
Yeah, I absolutely loved it. Hell, I cosplayed Team Skull here in America and in Japan because I'm such a fan of it. Plus, of course, Litten didn't hurt either. It was actually the first Pokemon game I played where I didn't have a water starter because of Litten.
Interesting.
But overall, I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you mentioned playing Pokemon Blue way back then. So
Way back.
my brother and I, of course, bought both versions when they released here in America, and I played Red, and my brother played Blue. But even though I was playing Red version, I still picked Squirtle as my starter.
Awesome.
Which is interesting for me because I am a grass type fan. It's what I love,
okay.
but I just do not like Bulbasaur. I don't know why. There's something about Bulbasaur that just turns me off from him. Nope, don't care for him.
The beloved Pokemon Bulbasaur.
Bulbasaur is.
Yeah, I think I kind of did, and it was funny because I didn't. I mean, it was obvious at the time, but I picked hard mode and I went Charmander just because I thought the fire dinosaur was cool.
Sure. Yep.
And look, sometimes you just start with, you play what you like. It may be a bit harder when you hit certain gems, but I mean, like I said, regardless of because everyone, is going to tell you which starter is the strongest, which has the best evolution, but I'm water loyal. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Most water type Pokemon are some of my favorites, including, up in, I don't know, I remember when they debuted, but of course, once I realized Lotad was a Kappa, of course, he immediately became one of my favorites.
There you go.
And and a Hispanic Kappa, so I can get behind that too.
Yeah. Isn't his middle? I think his middle evolution.
Lombre.
His middle evolution is Lombre. Yeah, Lombre. Yeah.
Then Ludicolo.
I think that's the one I'm working on right now.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, I haven't got the final evolution yet in Alpha Sapphire. I'm working on it.
Nice.
Man, I haven't actually finished a Pokemon game in a long time. I think it was honestly Platinum. Because it seemed like I would get really excited about one, and I would play it so far, and then as soon as I got close to the end, a new one would get announced, and I would just start amping myself up for the next one.
Of course.
Yeah. Because I think I did that with oh man, what was the remake that they did? Oh, Soul Silver, Heart Gold. So I got those, and then I think soon after that is whenever they announced maybe Sun and Moon or Black and White. I can't remember which order those came out in.
Some around those times.
I've
only beaten Sword and Sun, but I've played a ton of them. But half the time is either I get to the Elite Four and my party is built up with just Pokemon I like and probably not the best build to go through them, or I get so wrapped up catching every Pokemon because if I don't have it, I catch it, and eventually I kind of get burned out and take a break and then never go back to them.
It happens. It's definitely happened to me before too with previous games. You mentioned Heart Gold and Soul Silver. That generation, so Gen 2, I actually never played the original Gold and Silver. I didn't jump into that to that gen until Heart Gold and Soul Silver came out. So that was my first foray into that gen. But it was good. I do love those games. A lot of Pokemon fans consider that the best gen of all the Pokemon games, and I don't know if I agree with that. Just because Roserade is not in that gen, but it's definitely a good one. I love that it does connect Kanto and Johto together. That's fun.
Yeah, that was pretty cool, and just the fact after you finish the Elite Four on that one, you go to the old islands and stuff. You get to go through those gyms and the Elite Four through that. So that was pretty awesome.
It was really mind blowing too, because it's oh my gosh, these continents are connected. That's crazy. So that just kind of led the rest of the the rest of the series into where it's gone. So
right. Yeah, and I mean, I'm kind of with Sean on creating the team that you like. That was always kind of where I fell short, because I was like, this one's really strong, but this one's really cool. So just end up building my team like that and doing my best, and it was just I'm not doing great. I don't have any defenses for this, or I can't really attack well against this. So it got a little dicey there.
Yeah, my biggest problem is picking my favorites. I tend although I'm water starter loyal, I tend to lean towards ghost and fighting types. So like if I just my party usually isn't very balanced, and I just cannot memorize all the weaknesses and strengths, and to build an efficient team.
I mean, honestly, do you need more than Hitmonchan? He gets like so many elemental attacks. Like when Steph and I started playing, I decided I was going to do like kind of the opposite of her. So she got Hitmonchan, so I got Hitmonlee, and I'm like, damn, Hitmonlee like sucks compared to Hitmonchan. He's got like the best.
No, but you got to get Hitmon top because he does capoeira.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The newer version of him. So like beyond. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jerry.
Oh no. I was just gonna ask. Like, so it sounds like you and your boyfriend have like, had gone on the opposite ends of each like the gens that you've played and stuff. Do you both get like really competitive with it?
I like to like, but the problem with that is in how we plan out playing the games. I just jump right in and go for it. So like whatever comes my way. Like I'm not someone who seeks out Pokemon with particular IVs or particular abilities or things like that. Right. Whereas my boyfriend likes to plan out his team beforehand.
Mid-max.
Yeah, and so it would do me no good to go up against him. I mean, he would completely kick my ass.
Because that was actually going to be my question. Was like, do you ever just randomly enter the room and spin your ball cap backwards and challenge him to a duel?
I ought to do that. I really ought to do that. Yeah.
So how do you feel about all the other Pokemon games that aren't in the main gen? Like, just all the other stuff that they've created. Because I personally am like thrilled that they're doing a new Pokemon Snap game. Like, I freaking love Pokemon Snap so much on 64.
So I never played Pokemon Snap on the Nintendo 64. I've seen videos, plenty of videos of it, plenty of screenshots, and I think I've even seen a friend play it, but I've never actually played it myself or even really been too incredibly enticed to want to play it. So try to entice me, Jerry. Why should I play Pokemon Snap? Because there is a new one coming.
Yeah. So it's interesting because it looks like they're adding so much more to this new one, and I don't necessarily know that they knew what they had whenever they created the original one, because it was sort of just like an on rails like tour of like different areas, and like they had Pokemon in the areas, and then they like had little hidden gems that you did, and you were rated for the quality of photo that you took. But if you got them doing something like cool, like doing an attack or evolving or something like that, then like you would get even more points, and you needed so many points to move on to the next stage and stuff. And it was really neat. Like I think there was one where you're in this volcano level, and there's like Charmeleon like walking along the edge, and if you like hit it with an apple or something, it falls in the volcano and turns into Charizard. I mean, it's not how it happens in the game, but it was like a really cool interesting experience, and great photo op, of course. And it was really neat, a lot of fun. I think they had something interesting as well with like Jigglypuff and like making it angry or something like that whenever you were going to catch it. But with everything that they're showing for the new one, it looks even more fun. Like just all the options that you have, and of course they had like special things like I think there was one, like the first level is like a beach, and there was like a Pikachu on the beach, and if you like let it with apples, it would get on a surfboard and do like the little surfing Pikachu thing. It was like really cute.
Yeah,
but
I said my I was gonna say, sorry, jump in like my buddy. I was actually staying with them for a while because all my family had moved out of state and didn't work out. So I was staying with them. So I was there for a Christmas morning with him. And his little brother got Pokemon Snap for Christmas. And he's pretty young, so he didn't really understand the game. And of course, we're like in our upper teens. We're too cool for Pokemon, all that good stuff that you go through. But we're like, all right, well, let me show you how to play the game. We'll figure it out and teach him. And then we realized your pictures got rated. And it turned into, man, I could take a better fucking picture of Pikachu than you. It got super competitive. And so that might also be something fun for you to be like, okay, you think you got he gave you an A with only 1,000 points. I can get 100 points. So there could be a competitive edge to it. If y'all, that might actually bring some extra fun for you and your boyfriend to play.
Sure. I guess I didn't think about it that way, but yeah. I know the new Pokemon Snap. I think it's what they're calling it, or is it new new Pokemon Snap.
Yeah,
It's gorgeous. Oh my goodness, it is a gorgeous game.
Mm-hmm.
It really makes me wish that Sword and Shield looked that good.
Yeah, I really wonder what their like how many Pokemon they're planning on having in it, and how many gens they're going to. Because it looks like they have some of the newer starters in the trailer and everything.
Yeah,
and on the cover.
Do we know if it's
another?
What's up? I was just curious. Do we know if it's on rail, like the original, or is it going to be free roaming to take the pictures? I wonder.
From what I've seen, I think it is still going to be on rail.
Okay.
Yeah,
that
but
would definitely keep the challenge intact.
Yeah,
I think so too. But
because if you had free movement, you would be able to stop and actually,
yeah, that's
focus
fair.
and
That's
take a
true.
picture how you want it. So.
Another one that I really enjoyed that was also on the 64 was Pokemon Stadium. Did either of you play that one?
A little bit.
I have played that a little bit too. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, it had the neat aspect of being able to port your Pokemon from your Game Boy over and, being able to see them in 3D and fight with them and everything like that. Mm-hmm. But I think where it really popped off for me was they had all those interesting mini games, kind of like Mario Party has. So they, it was like a big kind of competition like that between people of going through the mini games and trying to beat each other in those two. And I honestly kind of wish that they would bring something like that back. I know they just did that fighting game. What was that? Battle Arena or something like that. What was that?
The Pokken Tournament.
Pokken, yeah.
Pokken Tournament. And they released the DX version of it for the Switch.
Oh.
Which had the extra characters and everything that the Wii U version did not have.
Yeah.
I think it released them as a DLC for the Wii U. But yeah, the Switch game has everything. Yeah. I've thought about picking that up too because it looks really cool.
Yeah, we have a friend, John, that plays pretty much any fighting game that comes out. I mean, it's easy to say that he plays almost every new game that comes out.
Really does.
The dude is plays too many games. I mean, that's not, but
nothing wrong with that.
No. But yeah, he really enjoyed that one.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun, and just being able to really get down and dirty and just beat the crap out of another Pokemon without it being turn-based fight. It seems really cool.
I know it's got a really big fight game community that surrounds it too, and it actually showed up at Evo one time.
Right.
And that was really fun because I remember watching Evo that year when Pokken Tournament was one of the games, one of the 9 games, and oh my goodness, yeah, it was pretty crazy, pretty frantic.
Yeah. Do you remember who won that tournament and what Pokemon they used?
Could not tell you. No, I was probably way too focused on Smash Bros.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah. So they've had a butt ton of Pokemon games, just so many.
There are, and I think so you're talking about, future games here with new Pokemon Snap. Along with that announcement of Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, they also announced a new game called Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Right.
And
Arceus, this has me
Arceus,
really excited.
That game looks so kick-ass. That looks like what I've envisioned Pokemon to, in my mind growing up as a kid, how... what I always wanted Pokemon to be. And so it kind of looks like this combination of Sword and Shield's battle mechanics combined with Breath of the Wild, the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild's gameplay, or landscapes and everything.
Right.
So you have this whole free roaming thing now that instead of, running into the grass and getting caught by a Pokemon and then entering a battle and catching it that way, you now just take your Pokeballs and throw them at the Pokemon to catch them. And so that's going to create a really interesting dynamic. But the game also just looks so goddamn pretty. And I cannot wait to play that game. It looks so good.
Yeah. You get a kind of feudal Japan type of setting, It's
definitely.
And I think it's probably, I haven't watched a lot of the series and stuff, but I want to say it's the first time we've ever really had anything based in the past for Pokemon. So I'm honestly,
Yeah, it's
pretty excited to see how they do it.
And I think that the game, as far as what continent it takes place on, is Hoenn. And I think that's probably what kind of spurred Zach and I, or my boyfriend Zach and I, along to want to play Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby, just to kind of get engrossed in that world. So it's going to be really interesting because it's kind of like the game apparently takes place hundreds of years ago before people really started inhabiting Hoenn, and it talks about the creation of Pokemon because Arceus is apparently the Pokemon that created everything.
Right.
So that should be pretty well story driven too. I hope so because I know the Game Freak and the Pokemon Company seem to be diving into that more as well because a lot of the newer games are really starting to be have these really in-depth stories and definitely be more story driven, and that's been really fun to see that play out.
That's definitely been a big drawing to get me getting them right away because they are turn-based RPGs, which is like been my jam. I'm an old man. I've been doing that since Super Nintendo, and so these so like I said, Sun and Moon was the first one that really drew me in. Because I played some of the other ones, but I never finished them. But Sun and Moon, I liked the story. I was invested in the characters, and then Sword and Shield felt the same way. It was just a fun adventure with more character, other than just Granted, you start off with the simple roots of just become the Pokemon master. Take on the Elite Four. Till all of a sudden we're getting into, I think it actually is the Sapphire Ruby. Is that the one where it's like the one team wants to flood the world, the other one wants to get rid of all the water?
Something like that. Yeah, it's Team Magma and Team Aqua.
Yeah.
With each other. Yeah.
So
trying to get to the bottom of that right now. I haven't. I'm 7 badges in, so I'm not quite completed it yet. And this is my first time playing Gen 3, so this is all brand new for me. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that's one reason why I'm really excited to play these. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I just love that it went from here's a 12-year-old boy, go out and catch wild animals to saving the world multiple times, getting legendary god Pokemon.
Yeah. It's like the more I play Pokemon, the more I dislike my own cats, because I really wish that I could control them like Pokemon. No.
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
And another interesting thing about that Arceus game is the starters for it, because they're from different generations of Pokemon.
Right.
Yeah. So they have Oshawott, Cyndaquil, and Rowlet in it.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of like I'm wondering, if this hits, are we going to get more games like this? Possibly. I don't know. They seem to do that occasionally, where they're like,
I wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
wonder.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I do wonder if the gameplay mechanics with how the actual catching of the Pokemon, if that's going to lead into future gens, if that's how it's going to be going forward. Maybe this game is kind of like a test to see if this actually works. So
yeah, what I was curious about with the starters, and I might be reading way more into it than what it'll actually be, but how the starters are from different gens, which means different regions, but they're all in this one. If we're looking at some kind of Pokemon Pangea, where there'll be some event that kind of spreads them out, or shows early on they all integrated. Maybe there's some big cataclysmic event in Pokemon history that spread them out to the specific regions that we know from the older games. But again, I might just be... Oh yeah, see, maybe.
You don't know about Pangea.
Pokemon Pangea.
Pokemon
Pangea.
I'm just saying that's where my mind goes, but it's Pokemon, so it could be very much. No, they're just here.
No, yeah, that's an awesome idea. I didn't even think about that, but it makes sense because a lot of the stuff that they've seen is just the wild Pokemon are from all over the place,
right?
So it's really cool. And I mean, yeah, it looks gorgeous. If they do, Breath of the Wild Pokemon, I am there for it.
Oh yeah, especially if they take that whole premise and combine it with the I think it was the second DLC that was released for Sword and Shield.
Right.
Was it it wasn't the Isle of Armor. It was the other one, the whole snow
I can't think what it's called, but yeah. I did not get it.
Crown Tundra. There we go.
There it is.
Okay.
My boyfriend just told me Crown Tundra. Yeah. So if they do that, because Crown Tundra had a wonderful story, and like the way that portion of the game progressed, that really kind of gave hints as to how the future of Pokemon is going to play out. So I'm curious to see if the premise that takes place, or the game mechanics and the premise that took place in Crown Tundra, if that's what they kind of use to lean into Arceus to see how that plays. So it should be interesting.
Yeah, the only concern I have, and I'm sure because I didn't really play Breath of the Wild, I actually don't do too many open world games. The only thing that when I first saw the trailer was the aiming system, or basically, the throwing of the Pokeballs to catch them in real time. That better be a spot-on mechanic, because if that's a pain in the ass, that's going to really hamper the game. But I'm sure they know what they're doing. But that was just my first concern when I saw it. Like, man, the targeting system better be good.
So I bet, knowing Nintendo and knowing Game Freak like I do, I guarantee they'll give you multiple control options. I bet they will have like a Joy-Con only like throwing system to let you do, like you could do on was it Let's Go?
Let's Go,
I think the Let's Go game. But at the same time, I think they'll also incorporate the Zelda-like game mechanics where they'll let you do like a lock-on trigger and then press a button to throw the ball.
They should have went hardcore with like as close to Breath of the Wild is and with the feudal Japan thing, and made it to where you have, instead of just Pokeballs, you had them attached to arrows. I
took a Pokemon to the knee. Oh, come on.
Yeah, that's speaking of the Let's Go, like I got the Let's Go Eevee when it came out, just because excited for Sword and Shield. They dropped that, and of course playing Pokemon Go. My only complaint now is I've gotten so used to more playing it, because when I got it, I was strictly handheld. I never hooked up to the TV, so that was no problem. Even if you don't use the Joy-Con, it does have like a timing just button system. But now I got a Pro controller. I got a nice TV. I want to play it on there. You absolutely cannot play either of the Let's Go games with the Pro controller. It has to be handheld or with the Joy-Cons out, and I don't want to play with the Joy-Cons.
That's interesting. Yeah, I actually ran into that same issue when we got Mario Party. They won't let you use any other controller options.
Really?
Like you can only use like half a Joy-Con or one Joy-Con or whatever.
That's strange. Huh?
Well, I guess so. Mario Party does use a lot, and I guess so does Let's Go, because they have the throw and the catch. I guess because it's so I get it, but if I'm not mistaken, the Pro controller has the gyro control in it. So
yeah, it does too. Yeah. Yes, that's really strange that they won't.
Yeah, I don't know. Fix it, Game Freak. That definitely doesn't listen to this podcast.
I mean, for crying out loud, they let you use the actual goofy Pokeball attachment and use that to throw the Pokeball in that game. Yeah. I always thought it actually made me kind of want to pick one up, but I never did.
Right. I popped it into my cart a few times and took it back out. It's just such a pricey thing for what it is, but it's so cool.
It is. Yeah.
One of my coworkers got it, and while he did play the Let's Go games, he used it more for Pokemon Go, just to catch Pokemon without playing the game. So
yeah, same with those the bracelets. I used to have customers whenever I worked at Subway. I had customers come into Subway all the time, and they had those on, and they would always kind of like stop for a second and start messing with that. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm not here. I'm just trying to make your food. It's all good. Yeah, Pokemon has easily become like just this huge phenomenon, with like manga that they've done and anime that they've done, and just all of the games and content that's out there, and toys and everything.
Oh, the universe is so huge for it. It's like, I think another podcast that I listened to, they were talking about how big the Pokemon universe is, and like all of the all the products that exist within the Pokemon universe, and it's like it makes so much money that it's like more than actual like cinematic movies, like the whole Hollywood.
I can see
it turns that much money.
I mean, Like, I think there's one or two here in the States, but like, me and Jerry went to the Pokemon centers and the Pokemon stores while we were in Japan, and it's everywhere over there, of course. But the the actual those endless merchandise that I've never seen over here.
So I guess I didn't tell you about this, and Anna, I don't know if you've ran into any one of these, but and I haven't actually gone to like on the Pokemon Go app or anything to see if it actually is anything, which I'm assuming it's there. It probably is, but they have mini Pokemon centers, and it's a vending machine, like it's this big fancy vending machine that's a Pokemon center.
I see them in Fred Meyer. They're all over the place.
Yeah.
The one right next door to where I work, we have a huge one.
Yeah, that's actually exactly where I saw it. So I'm assuming maybe Fred Meyer has some kind of deal with the Pokemon store or the Poke Center, and so they have those all over the place. So yeah, it's actually kind of neat. I'll have to snap a picture for you sometime, Sean.
Okay,
so you can see.
For sure.
It's pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Like it's so funny because whenever I take my lunch break, the Fred Meyer is literally right next door to where I work, and so when I'm walking over to Fred Meyer to get something for lunch, like there's typically a crowd of guys, like 4, 5, 6 guys standing around the machine because they know when the Pokemon rep is coming to put more merchandise into it, and they're just sitting there waiting. And I'm like, oh, you nerds are so cute. I love it.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am honestly surprised that we don't have an actual store here in Washington.
Especially since Pokemon or the Pokemon Company International exists in Bellevue, or like their actual headquarters is here in Bellevue.
Mm-hmm.
So it's strange that we don't have a Pokemon Center, at least in maybe Seattle proper. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like I said, I think there's probably one in New York and somewhere out in California. But yeah, you would think, as popular as it is, we would have, like, I know Japan's big for their pop-up stores, that can just come and go. But like, I'm pretty sure the ones we went to were pretty much dedicated Pokemon centers. And like, you would think we would have more. I mean, I'm not surprised like Arkansas doesn't have anything, but you'd think we would have a few more scattered through the U.S. as big as it is here.
Right.
Come on, Little Rock is worthy of a Pokemon Center.
Is it though? Is it?
Yeah, and I mean, I failed to mention it, but it's another huge part of Pokemon. And I know it was like really big going around like schools and stuff whenever I was going through school. But Pokemon cards, the trading card game and everything, is just such a massive thing. And I'm surprised and amazed that it's still as big as it was back then.
Oh yeah,
like you have some hardcore collectors.
Yeah, still going, and for some reason across like Twitch and YouTube, opening Pokemon cards has become like a sudden quick trend.
Yeah. Well, like with the randomness, that you have in them, and it's kind of cool because there was one guy that I was watching, and he's like really big in that community. But what he does a lot of the time is he has packs donated. That any proceeds from selling any of those cards are going to go to like a charity and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool. So he'll like pop them open and get like a Gen 1 Charizard that's worth like so many thousands of dollars, and it's like his hands will be shaking. It's great.
Yeah, your old employer Kapow Comics actually recently had a like Gen 1 starter decks. I think they were unopened.
Were they the mud and grass ones?
Maybe, and one of them was like, I think Team Rocket or something. They looked very old, and I'm pretty sure they were still sealed. Someone had brought that in.
Interesting story about that. I had a supervisor whenever I still worked out there, who gave me, or didn't give me, sorry. They were trying to get me to help them sell some, and they had like Gen 1, I think they were like jungle and something else decks. Oh. And they were still sealed in plastic because they worked at a store, that they sold them at one point. And like I tried talking to him about them, and he just kind of like brushed it off, like, oh, it's probably not something I want. I'm like, I think I saw somebody else like not too long ago, which kind of reminded me of the whole instance, like, sold theirs for like one deck of it for like 500 or something like that.
Oh,
Ridiculous.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm like, okay,
well,
you don't need that. Sure.
I've got one pack with a couple cards in front of it and a Litten coin a friend gave me because of the Litten coin.
Huh.
It's like it's Sun and Moon team up. Like, okay, so if I open this on camera, I will get 1 million views because that's what all the kids are doing these days, right? But I thought about like,
is that how we get views?
That's how
Instant Twitch partner is what you become.
Twitch partner immediately,
automatically, and then someone gets mad. My Twitch streams get canceled. But so here's the question though. Like, did y'all watch the movies?
I think the first two I actually saw in theaters back in the day because I was so big into it then.
You did better than me. I've never seen one in a theater. I've only seen the first one, but only when it came out on VHS. I'm dating myself there.
Yeah. I saw it in theater because I worked at the theater and I got to see it for free. But I watched the recent one, the CG live action one.
Oh, Strikes Back.
No, just Pokemon the movie.
Oh, you're talking about Detective Pikachu?
Detective Pikachu, yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, I said the wrong.
You said CG.
Well, like CGI. I mean, they're not real Pokemon, are they?
Right. Well, they might.
They're real to me, damn it.
Nice, nice reference. I'm usually the one making the wrestling references here, lady.
Sorry. Of course.
But no, yeah, Detective Pikachu. I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
So good. Yes, I love that. And Ryan Reynolds was so good. I totally didn't expect him to come across, that awesome in the role, but he did such a fantastic job. And it's such a heartwarming story too. Like,
it really is.
Once it's all over, you're just like, oh my gosh, this was so good.
Yeah, and just
it was a really cute movie.
Yeah, the incorporation, because like we know from the show and the games and everything how incorporating the life with Pokemon living with them. But I don't know, something about I guess seeing it with real people. It just hit that much more to me. Of like, okay, that's what it's like to exist with sentient animals that aren't always trying to eat you.
Yeah, it really made me wish that that's how this planet was. Like, why could we not have actual Pokemon living around us? It would be so much more fun.
I mean, if there was a sequel, I would go see it in a heartbeat. Yeah, it was really good.
So did they have they ever clarified? Because like, there's always a question, like you see them eating food, right, in the Pokemon world. So like when they have a hamburger, is that a Tauros? Like, I mean, has it ever been clarified? Like, are they eating Pokemon or have they created a plant-based soy burger for everything?
Makes one wonder.
This is what happens when they lose their battles.
Yeah. So oh god, the movies that I saw in theaters was the first movie in 2000.
Yeah.
And they actually like, I don't know if either of you have seen it, but they kind of did a remake of the first movie and did Mewtwo Strikes Back
is that what
on
that
Netflix.
was?
And it's and it's completely CG. Honestly, I really enjoyed it. I think it kind of stirred the nostalgia of the original movie and everything. And they kind of added a few updates in it, like adding Pokemon that weren't in that gen and everything.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah, I think I've only seen of like the older series. It was that very first one. I don't think I've seen any of the other animated stuff outside of Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, right. Another kind of phenomenon that was going on for a while there, and honestly, I think was my first foray into Twitch, was Twitch Plays Pokemon.
Oh,
do you remember
that?
Did I stir some memories?
Yes,
well,
exactly.
Yeah.
I do remember that. That was really interesting because it gets crazy. And there's lots of spastic events that take place because everyone's trying to control.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Really interesting.
That saga was a joy to watch. Actually, that's something I need to like. Man, I'm sure it's archived somewhere. I would actually love to go back and like see through it again. But I remember that was because you brought that to my attention, Jerry, and I believe it was your idea too. We had a convention when I was still doing the perler bead art. And remember, I made the Helios.
Yeah.
Was it the Helix? I'll praise the the fossil. I made little ones, sold them for like $1 a piece. And yeah, they went quick because that was all the hype. We thought about making full on sprite size of all the. Could we find those custom ones, all the nicknames they gave the Pokemon?
Yeah, it was a really great thing, and I always thought it was funny, like because I would kind of like vaguely keep up with it, and then go to bed, and then wake up and see whatever updates they got from like UK and Australia and stuff like that, and that was like to no surprise, that was when shit was getting done,
Right?
When all those other countries that America wasn't involved in, was actually getting shit done. So yeah, it was pretty great. They are actually still playing Pokemon via Twitch.
Really?
It looks like, yeah. I actually looked it up, and I ran on to a Twitch stream of Twitch Plays Pokemon.
Wow, have they moved up to like the newer gen? I think it was this Gen 1, right? That they originally did.
I honestly can say with some certainty that I don't recognize this one.
Oh.
I think it might be something that someone made, because it is like 3D and everything, but it does say that it's just a robot playing Pokemon. And it says, tell me which buttons to press and everything. So pretty interesting stuff.
Sure.
Twitch plays Pokemon has always been like this really like interesting thing that's like, oh, look what the whole world can accomplish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's also a Pokemon and Twitch related thing, similar to, well, kind of similar, just a little related. Have you heard of what's called Ironmon?
No.
No, I'm not familiar with that.
So there's a Twitch streamer. It's a guy that I've followed for a long time just because he plays Pokemon constantly, and he's always been a big part of GDQ, the Games Done Quick marathons they do twice a year. But his name is I Ate Your Pie, and he's a funny guy, but he plays Pokemon, and so he's modified the rule sets in, like, actually gone in and recoded the games, and he's created this what's called Ironmon version of Pokemon, and it's like this crazy, incredibly hardcore challenge where your 3 starting Pokemon can literally be any 3 Pokemon that exist within whatever gen up to like whatever version of the game you're playing. And like, so he was playing Fire Red and Leaf Green recently, and so you have to out of your 3 starters, if one of the starters happens to be a legendary, you can't choose that one. It has to be something that's not a legendary. So but your goal or your task is that you can only heal at Pokemon centers. You can't buy potions. You can only buy repels. Any HP restoring items they have to be items that you pick up out on the field. And you can't res any dead Pokemon or fainted Pokemon. You can't res any fainted Pokemon. So if you do have one that faints, you have to just release it and let it go.
Okay.
And so your goal is to take whatever starter you get, and the stats are always really crazy. That's where the recoding that he created for the game comes in, because the stats are just so random, and you'll have Pokemon with moves that they typically don't get in the normal games, and with abilities that they typically don't get, and it makes for this really interesting challenge, and it's very fascinating to watch. But it took him probably a month and a half, I think, and he finally beat Fire Red and Leaf Green, this Ironmon challenge, and he's now since moved on to Heart Gold and Soul Silver, so he's currently doing that now.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the like self-imposed, just like you can take any of the games, and it's called the Nuzlocke Challenge?
I've heard of that, and that's kind of what this is built off of.
But this one is like anybody can do it, no recoding. Like, it's basically the rules. The streamer I watch, he always rolls a d20 to pick his starter. So he makes that random. And then, it's the rule of every new area you go to, you can only catch the first Pokemon you run into, unless you already have it when you go to the next area. But you have to catch that. No, if a Pokemon faints, you let it go. You release it. You treat it like it's dead. and you can't catch another one like it. So it's only one You can only have one of each Pokemon. And you can only catch it one per time. He had his own self-imposed rules where he won't use heal items in battle, only outside of battle. So he does buy them, but he can't heal during the combat. And and it's something you can just do because it's all just you're self-imposed, but you're playing the base game. And I think that adds a lot to like replayability. I've tried it a few times, but again, I'm not good enough at remembering skills and weaknesses, and my Pokemon die very quick.
Oh, that's me. My typing is awful. I don't like. I know that fire beats grass. I know that grass beats water, and I know that water beats fire, and that's about it.
Right.
I always have to look at Zach and say, "Hey, does so and so do better than this?"
Right.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. When you get into like what's fairy weak against fighting type, or is it ghost type? Like when you get into those, the existential types.
Yeah.
For sure. But okay, we are getting close to time here. So, Anna, thank you very much for joining us. Do you have are you a content creator or anything you kind of want to just like advertise? We could drop a link in the comments or anything.
Sure. So I make YouTube videos. I'm a musician, a singer-songwriter.
Awesome.
So if you want to look me up on Twitter, I am Sarel_Clay. That's Sarel, Sarail. On YouTube, you can find me as Anna Clay. But I'm Sarel Clay everywhere else online.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
So,
yeah, we'll get some links from you before we go here, and we'll add those into the comments. So feel free to check out all her cool stuff. And we want to thank you for joining us once again. And if y'all enjoyed what you heard, of course, give us a like, comment, subscribe, follow, share, tell everybody out there. And we're going to catch y'all next time.
Yeah. Take care. Thanks for joining us.
Yes,
Peace.
thank you.
Mm-hmm.